Hey, that was my fault. That's why we weren't on YouTube Live. Didn't hit the right button. Whoops. All right, so, hey, sorry about that. Now we're all good. Yes, I am on Facebook now. I am on YouTube now. So, always love new technology. Jeff, yes. So, as we get started here, right at the top, we are giving away a Roku Express, a side click, which is a really cool universal remote that takes everything that you can control with your TV. You can program these buttons, volume, power, inputs, miscellaneous buttons. You can really program them to control your soundbar or whatever. You can win that. We are giving away a Roku Express, a really cool Roku Express, which is actually a surprisingly powerful player. And lastly, we are giving away a CES backpack. So you can win this. It's got a News On pin in there, some CES paper. There's a hat. I'm not really sure what the hat says, but it's there. So if you'd like to learn more about how to win all that, go to corecarsnews.com. It's the very first post on the site right now. But we are giving that all away. And we are, hopefully, if all goes well, gonna have it's gonna run between now and the 19th. So you have about a week, a little over a week to enter. So check that out. Would love to have you spread the word, tell your friends. There's many different options to enter to win. So let me find this on YouTube, but let me get the questions going. Anything new about DirecTV Now? Get access to Fox Sports Go? No, Bill. DirecTV Now, they want the price down. Getting access to apps like Fox Sports Go, even ESPN and so on, you have to pay money as a content provider. So they don't offer them because in their mind, they think you don't need it. Sling does a pretty good job giving you everything that DirecTV Now and ESPN and so forth has. But yes, they don't offer it because of the cost. Chrome Bit for streaming. David, can you send me a link? That sounds very familiar, but for some reason I'm not coming up with it. Let's see here. Let me see if I can take a quick look at that. All right, I'm on YouTube. I found it. So, it says it ends January 19th. Let me see. Oh, it's not me. That's not my car going off out there. I'll double check that, Andrea, but it's the 19th that it's ending. So my neighbor's car horn is going off. There it goes. As I'm getting a lot of questions about, do I know if DirecTV Now has this problem or that problem? DirecTV Now has all kinds of problems, just to be honest with you. There's a wide range of problems with DirecTV Now. They're aware of them, and they say they're working on them. Did you get a chance to check out the new Tablo unit at CES? Yes, I actually got to see it before even the press releases were out, and they're pretty cool. They're pretty nice. Now they're still keeping the Tablo DVRs are on the market right now, but these new lines will fit certain market segments. So you'll be able to say, if I have a Nvidia Shield or other Android TV box, I'll be able to get this one type of device that work perfect with mine, and so on. So they're doing a really nice job on that to kind of come out there and find something that fits everybody's need. So let me go. Yeah, it says the 19th on that. All right, let's jump back here. We cut the cord about a week ago. So far, we like it and moved to Sling TV. No issues with it. I referred a friend or two to it. Yeah, Sling TV's really had a good week with stability. I started watching the College Football Championship game on Watch ESPN. Had all kinds of problems. Switched over to Sling TV. Very smooth streaming. Her PlayStation Vue also had a very good experience. DirecTV Now, not so much. What happened to Plex Cloud? I get a question. Plex Cloud is still there. They have other options like other storage options. They just discontinued for at least now the Amazon Cloud integration. They said, I talked to them in person about that at CES. They said they just had some issues. They tried to resolve them, but they were having too many issues with it. So they took it down rather than offer a poor experience. They took it down for now, at least the Amazon portion of it. You can still use the Plex Cloud through other data sources or storage sources, you just need to go check that out. P.S. What do I think of the AirTV? I have a review up of that. Go to courtcarsnews.com, click on the review tab. I think it's on the homepage right now, or maybe on page 2. I really like it. I got a whole YouTube video up there of it. When I saw it, I played around with it quite a bit, and it's nice. Now, here's the caveat with AirTV. It's probably not for everybody. If you're a power user and you're very happy with the current Roku or Fire TV or Apple TV, whatever you have, I don't really see a reason to go switch over to the AirTV. But the AirTV is the kind of box I would get my parents, I'll get my grandparents. It's great because it takes all the content, puts it in one spot. When you first turn it on, it always goes to Sling. It integrates your over-the-air, your Sling TV, and your Netflix all in one interface. Very simple, basic remote, easy to use. It's definitely the device I would recommend to somebody who is not very technically savvy and wants access to a streaming device. So it'll be interesting to see. I highly recommend it. I bet we'll see new features rolled out on that. Did anything from CS jump out at you as the next big thing? I really like the new Roku C series of TVs from TCL. Roku TVs have always been good, but they're not necessarily what I call the most attractive TVs in the past, and at times they've lacked in power. The new C series is a huge step up in quality of TV. It's a much more high-end TV. It adds beautiful HDR, Dolby Vision HDR, which is a very high quality one. So they showed off a lot of that, and so I like that. The Airwave, WatchShare, those antennas, all of them are out there right now that take a antenna, build in Wi-Fi, and then stream it to your streaming media player. I think are huge because a lot of TVs out there are not where you want your antenna. With these antennas with Wi-Fi built in, I can put it in an upstairs bedroom, and in the basement, I can go and watch it stream through my Wi-Fi network. So that's a pretty nice little feature right there, and it kind of frees you from all the trouble of having to try to make your antenna work wherever your TV is. Now you can put your antenna wherever is best for it. So, hey, I just fixed the January 1st. Then it says 19th. Sorry about that. I see what you were talking about. Are you going to buy and test an AirTV? Yeah, I was talking about getting a review unit. I always try to get review units first, just to be honest. If I would buy everything, I would be broke. But I got a lot of playtime with it. I've already posted a video and a full written review of the AirTV, but I do intend to get my hands on one and try to test it out soon. Bodyguard asks, what do you think of those generic outdoor antennas that are selling on eBay for like $27? There are 150 mile 360 degree antennas on eBay for $27. I've heard some people with great success. I've heard some people with missed success on it. So I don't know on those. So buy them, try them, see what the return policy is. If you can always return it, you're not out a lot at $27. But I haven't personally tested it, so I'm hesitant to recommend something I haven't tested. I'm asked Heising or TCL for a Roku TV. I've tested TCL Roku TVs, so I'm gonna recommend a TCL Roku TV for the reason that I've tested it. I have 2 of them in my home, one in my bedroom, one in my living room. Use them for my personal use, and I'm very happy with them. Most of them have trials. Try them first. Yes. Pretty much, excuse me, every streaming service out there has a trial. If you're debating which one you want to use, I definitely recommend you try them out. Andrea says, we're just beginning stages of considering cutting the cord. Do you suggest trying the free trial period with different streaming services prior to cutting the cord? Do you need to be tech savvy to successfully cut the cord? No. Let me answer the tech savvy part first. You don't need to be tech savvy. It's surprisingly easy now to be a cord cutter. Roku, Fire TV, and even the Apple TV to a lesser extent makes cord cutting super easy. There is a bit of a learning curve. I always tell people this. I recommend, like you suggested, before you cancel your cable TV, go set up everything. Go and say, hey, I'm going to connect my Roku, my Fire TV, whatever you buy. I'm going to try out different streaming services and everything. That's what I did with my wife before we became a cord cutter. And that way, you're not rushed. The worst thing you can do is cut the cord and then go rush. Hey, I canceled cable tonight. I really want to watch ABC tonight. Now I'm running to Walmart, desperately buying any antenna that's out there, and so on. You're probably going to overpay that happens, and it's not the best experience. So I definitely recommend there, if you want to be a cord cutter, test it all out, set it all up. When you're happy, it probably take a couple weeks to find everything you want, pick the different streaming services that best fit what you want, and then you can go and become, cancel your cable and become a cord cutter. Jeff, I don't really understand your question. You asked, only thing is getting sports on Roku. I'm assuming you're trying to find sports. If you tell me what sport you're looking for, I can help you a lot better there. Sports are incredibly easy being a cord cutter nowadays, especially compared to 2 years ago. Robert says, my mom isn't tech savvy, and she could use the Roku Express with no issues. It took a while, though. NHL. NHL Network is on Sling TV. Put up an antenna for NBC. And, check around PlayStation View, DirecTV Now, or Sling TV for your local sports network. So, but yeah, you think about 2 years ago, if I had told you that you'd be able to watch Fox Sports 1, NFL Network, NHL Network, all that as a cord cutter, you probably would have laughed. But nowadays, we can do that with different streaming services. Oh, I get asked over on YouTube, Roku Express or Roku Streaming Stick, which is better for the bargaining? Very comparable, but the Roku stick is a little bit faster, a little bit better quality. But you are paying more money. It's about $50 as opposed to $30. So, they both work well. The question is, do you want to spend an extra $20 or not? I would say spend the extra $20 if you have it, and go that way. Sue, yes, I do know a lot about Kodi TV. I actually had the great honor of having dinner or cocktail party with Team Kodi, with 4 different guys from the team, including some of their head team members at Kodi. Great people, very nice. So yeah, I have played around with it quite often. Once you cut the cord and get comfortable, you will be saving big bucks, Craig says, and really won't miss the big bill. Yeah, that's true. I always tell people, cord cutting does take a few weeks to get everything. It's like switching from Android to iOS, a Mac to a PC, back and forth, however you want to say it. You got to kind of relearn a little bit where everything is, but it's increasingly becoming easier and easier. If you're new, go to cordcuttersnews.com. I got it right up here. Right at the top is Cord Cutting 101. Click on that. Check out our Cord Cutting 101 and walk you through step by step what you need to do to become a cord cutter. Best services for NBA fans, James asked. I recommend either PlayStation View or Sling TV. They both have the NBA Network, TNT, TBS, and so on, ESPN. I am not familiar if DirecTV Now has it. Somebody correct me. Does DirecTV Now have NBA Network? I want to say no, but for some reason I want to say yes at the same time. But as far as your regional sports network, you're going to have to check around which one has what you want. Did you check out Saba TV? They won't let me in their booth at CS. I'll never buy it. No, I wasn't able to. Honestly, at CS, I was so booked. I showed you my calendar. It was 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. with sometimes 15 minutes between meetings. So I just didn't schedule one. I didn't even try to go over there, unfortunately. They didn't reach out to me. So one place I wanted to go out to and was not able to was Channel Master. But I wasn't able to set that up. So, yeah, unfortunately, those are two I didn't get to do it. Okay, I'm being told that NBA TV is on DirecTV now. Okay, that's good. So you can pick any of the new live TV streaming services. That is always a tough spot that you never know if keeping track of all these. And with Hulu coming out, it's just going to become more and more frustrating for me to keep track of all these, who has what. No, Channel Master did not announce anything. I'm getting asked about that. They were just there. I've met them before. Very nice people. Great team. Just wasn't able to hook up with them. Jeff is talking about XTV for the Roku. That is not a legal service. We don't really promote that here. Use with caution. Many people just assume you're free and clear no matter what you do if you stream it. Not so true. So take that up. Hello, Matt. It's good to see you here. Hello to all my friends back at Fort Leonard, Missouri. All right, let's keep the questions coming. If I have not answered your question, re-ask it either on youtube.com or on facebook.com/cordcarsnews. I'm only watching the Facebook page because I know this gets shared in a lot of places, but that's where I'm watching it. AS asks, I have a DVR Plus sitting in a box. Switch to TiVo OTA. TiVo's a good DVR for cord cutters. The problem with TiVo, the only reason I don't recommend it a lot is the high cost there. Kit asks, have you requested an invite? They gave some demos at CES. I have talked to Hulu PR, and I'm building a relationship there. I hope to give you the best possible Hulu Plus or live TV coverage as possible. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed I'll get access. I don't right now. Oh, Chuck, you were right next to the Nvidia booth in the big hall on the north side. I was there a couple times. Or are you talking about their suite? Chuck, love to know, what company were you with over there? Bill says he loves his Tablo tuner. Yeah, Tablo is a really great DVR. I love the ability of Tablo to cast out. If you're looking for a DVR, Tablo and Channel Master are my two big ones. Plex, if you're a little bit more technically savvy and able to play with it a little bit more, their DVR option is pretty cool. And TiVo is a great one. You do pay for it, but it's a very solid DVR. You pay for a premium name price there, though. Dennis asks, I have a new 4K TV. Do I need to upgrade to a streaming device in order to benefit from the 4K picture? Denise, yes, you need a 4K streaming player. For example, the Roku 4, Premiere Plus, and Ultra are all 4K streaming players. So is the second generation Fire TV, Nvidia Shield, and others. So I would research whatever player you have. 4K streaming is the best way to get 4K content, and they're pretty powerful out there, so check that out. If you have a 4K, just a standard 4K TV, not a 4K HDR, I recommend the Roku Premiere or Premiere Plus, $79.99 or $9.99. If you have an HDR 4K TV, the newest standard, get the Premiere Plus or the Ultra. Michael asks, any idea when YouTube is coming with their new live TV streaming service? I guess it's going to be called YouTube Unplugged. Now, there's been some initial reports that was supposed to come in February. Now, with all things streaming and whatever, often we miss the dates that they're supposed to come out. So it's possible that these services will not come out when we expect it. So if you are looking at having this service, maybe February, first quarter, second quarter, somewhere in there, 2017. Do you have a home theater setup or system? If so, what are your components? I get asked over here. I don't have a home theater. I have my living room. I have a Roku TCL Roku 55-inch 4K TV. The P series, the more powerful one. I'd love to upgrade to the Roku C series. That's a pretty sharp TV that's coming out. What Roku players have Ethernet? Roku 3, Roku 4, Roku Premiere Plus, and Roku Ultra are the ones with Ethernet there. John asked me, how cool were the Fire TVs at CES? I'm assuming you're talking about the Fire TV Edition TVs, which is the horrible name that describes the smart TVs with a built-in Fire TV. Yes, I got to play with the brand new Fire TV TV. It was cool. They're going to be 4K, no HDR. I asked that question. I'm going to have a full review. I shot some video and stuff. Hopefully this weekend, maybe early next week. I got a lot of product reviews and stuff to edit out. Fighting a cold doesn't help anything. CES crud is one of the downsides of going to CES. But the performance was good. I wouldn't say it was quite as smooth as the box. It felt a little bit more like the stick. But man, when I was testing it, they must have told me 20 times that this was a pre-production model. Whenever I ask a question, is this what it's going to look like? We're not sure. This is a pre-production test model. Is this what the remote's going to look like? We're not sure. This is a pre-production test model. So, take anything I say about the new Fire TVs, smart TVs, with a grain of salt, because it could be totally different when it comes to market. But, it was funny that the Element Fire TV and the Element Roku TV was the exact same TV with a different remote and a different OS. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see there. Considering YouTube has barely talked about Unplugged, I don't see it being ready as soon as next month. Google is well known for saying, hey, we got this great new service and it's available in a week. So you don't know with Google. Google, like Apple, likes to keep things close to the vest. So who knows? Why is PS View app on the Roku One so hard to navigate? Is the app the same on all Roku? It is the same on all Rokus. I don't know why. PlayStation View has never updated the Roku app. Sling TV has released multiple upgrades on their app and total rewrites of it, but Sony just doesn't seem to be investing a lot in their PlayStation View. Live feed went down. I'm getting, hey, if you're on Facebook or in YouTube and you're seeing this, let me know. Somebody's saying that the feed went down, but I'm still being able to view it on my end. So, Fire TV enabled smart TV feature of the Fire TV. Yeah, you know, the Fire TV Edition TVs is a bad name. They need to come up with a better name for the Fire TVs. All right, so it seems like I'm fine everywhere. Whoever said that they're on problems, just try to reload. All right. I saw a question about, yes, WindGuard flat antenna is an excellent antenna. Yeah, WindGuard makes good antennas. WindGuard, Mohu, Turk are some of the best brands I recommend out there for antennas. Would somebody on YouTube tell S4 for me to reload his page? DirecTV Now is Mark says DirecTV Now is terrible here. I noticed a change yesterday. Instead of the blue rectangle, the pixels dropped severely. Auto kept going out, and then after 5 seconds, rebuffering and returned to full resolution. Yeah, you know, they are definitely, they've released a lot of updates. They're trying to knock out problems as quickly as they can. You know, Sling had problems when it first came out. PlayStation View, you know, people probably don't remember this when it was on limited markets, just available in a few cities. It had problems too. I think the big thing that Sling has over DirecTV Now is better communication when there's problems. That they're more willing to come out and say, here's the problem, here's what we're doing to fix it, and so on. And I think DirecTV Now could take a lesson from Sling and others. Sony's not even that great at it. But, you know, just come out and tell us what the problem is, tell us you're working on it, give us some updates, and I think people will be much more willing to work with them. Christopher asked, should I try the free trial? Yeah, I mean, it never hurts to try the free trial. I'm getting asked, when will PlayStation View drop in price? I don't know. You know, PlayStation View, if you think about it, started at $60 a month. And now they're down to starting, at least, at $30 a month. So I haven't heard anything about price drop, and I'm not expecting one. Robert, I don't know why they're being blacked out, why some NHL games are being blacked out on the NHL network suddenly. I would contact your provider, let them know. It could be an accident. That wouldn't be the first time that something accidentally gets blacked out. Paul, yes, Sling TV does need BTN, the Big Ten network. Talk to Big Ten network. Talk to Sling and all of them, DirecTV Now and Sony. They would all love to carry all these. But they have unfortunately not been, you know, both sides have to agree to it. Sling can't just say, come here and give us your channel. DirecTV or Fox will have to agree to give the Big Ten network and the Big Ten network over. So contact both of them. Let them know that, hey, I want you on Sling. I want you on PlayStation View or wherever. And that goes for all channels. Will Roku ever develop a good PlayStation View channel guide? You know, that's not Roku's problem. That's Sony's problem. And Sony has not done much with their apps. If you think about it, the apps on all the platforms are pretty much exactly the same as they were when they launched publicly. So fingers crossed that that Sony is the one that needs to update that. I'm being asked about VidGo. Nope, nothing to add on VidGo right now. Fingers crossed. You know, we'll get some new official words on that. I'd ask if you had a chance to check out the latest Tablo unit on CS and my phone died. Any review? Yes, I was able to see him in person. I shot some video, took some photos. I will have a full review of the new Tablo DVRs, sticks, and all that here soon, Steve. So keep an eye on the Core Cars News. I'm backloaded at about 6. I don't know if you can hear it, but fighting some CES crud here. So unfortunately, I am a little bit behind on reviews. When I'm at CES, man, I was 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day, Monday through Saturday, me with people doing stuff. So I just didn't have time to edit videos when I was there. The new Nvidia Shield 2 looks to be the best streaming box. You know, I will say I'm very excited about the Nvidia Shield. I played around with it on a couple different occasions, got some one-on-one time in their suite to play with it. I did a full initial first look at it, and you know, it's very good. It's the same performance as the first generation. Everything is pretty much software. The new controller, the game controller, is huge improvement. The remote for the TV and the new Nvidia Shield, they say will last a year. So you won't have to recharge your controller for a year. So that's pretty cool. 60 hours of gaming on the game controller. Definitely worth checking out. The fact that they're adding Amazon, an official, well-made Amazon app, makes the Nvidia Shield something you should definitely check out. Still has a downside of a $199 starting price, but check it out. Hey, DirecTV Now for Roku. When I was at the TCL event, the Direct Your Roku TVs came out and said, DirecTV Now will be on Roku players in the next few weeks. Now, that was next week, so next couple weeks, fingers crossed. We'll keep our fingers crossed on that. What absolutely free service would you recommend for a person who just got a Roku? I would recommend 2 services that are 100% free, Kurt. Three services. Tubi TV and Crackle TV. They're both like Netflix, but 100% free, ad supported. And Pluto TV. Pluto TV is a great service. It takes content from around the web, collates it, sorts it into different topics, and turns it all into like guides where you can like search for comedy, lifestyle, yoga. Like when the presidential debates happened, they had a feed there, a channel where you could watch the presidential debate. So check that all out. It really works well. It's very cool. So Pluto TV, Tubi TV, and Crackle TV are 3 I recommend. Past that, go into the free section of the Roku channel store and check out what you can. Jeff, we don't promote piracy channels here. And that's a piracy channel. I have a 50-mile amplifier Mohu antenna. I can get all the local channels, no sweat. However, there is a Canadian CBC channel 10 miles away that I cannot get no matter what I do. Does Canada do something different on their towers? You know, I'm actually not all that sure. Though I know most people tell me that they get both US and Canadian. What's more likely that's happening, the reason why you can't get that, there's some type of physical barrier. Distance does not mean much in reality with antennas. It's a convenient way to describe the power of the antenna under perfect conditions. But you can be 5 miles from an antenna and have a mountain, a hill, live in a valley, the antenna just not, or the transmitter not be pointed in your direction. Some transmitters are directional. We think of like a radio transmitter that just goes everywhere. But a lot newer antenna or transmitters will be directional to force their signal in a particular direction. So there's many reasons there why you're not receiving that channel. Pluto sadly isn't as good as what it used to be though. I think Pluto offers a lot of cool things there. They did change their lineup. I like a lot of the new content. I know some people don't like, miss some of the channels that are left. So I don't know. Like with all things, it kind of changes around. All right. Any idea as to when Hulu will start a beta program? James, if you go to Core Cars News, go to page 2. There's a link to where you can sign up for the Hulu live beta. Don't know when that's going to go live, but you can go and try to sign up for it. And fingers crossed when it does go live, you'll get access to it. Any suggestion on a motor or router for me using AT&T Uverse? Head over to Amazon and type in AT&T Uverse router. I'm not sure they sell them. I know AT&T does DSL routers, but I'm not sure if they do Uverse. So I'm not really able to recommend that. All right. I got to see this question a few times. Any thoughts on the new HDMI formats and how they will affect older devices? From my understanding, fully backwards compatible. The new HDMI standard will allow for more control of your TV from devices and other stuff that Right now, I don't think it really matters. I don't know of any TVs that really take advantage of it right now, or streaming devices. But when those, like how the newer standards will allow to do 4K and all that, you will need a new HDMI cable, but I wouldn't worry about the new HDMI standard that was announced today. We're probably 2 years before that even comes into devices. Any reason why TCM blacks out some movies on Sling TV? And is it like this on all streaming services? Yeah, Robert, that's all streaming services. What happens is they don't have the rights to stream it. Sometimes movies sell rights separately. They sell rights to streaming services, and they sell movie rights to TV shows or stations. And that way they can get the most money possible. And it may happen that, let's just use XYZ streaming service owns the rights to that movie, but TCM owns the movie to cable. And Sling is considered a streaming service, so Sling has to block it, and so on. So unfortunately, that's how it works. Any news from CES with the MyBox success? Wondering if they're going to drop their $69 price. I can't imagine that it can go a lot cheaper than $69 in that MyBox. 4K HDR, full Android TV. I would be surprised if they dropped the price before a new model comes out, but they did not announce any new models at CES. John asks, what's this new HDMI standard? John, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just a standard that's going to allow like 8K streaming. We got 4K right now. 8K is supposed to be the new one. I'm not sure 8K is going to really take off because I just can't see the difference. I think we're at 4K and other things are at the point where we don't see a difference in quality going higher. That's why you see HDR coming out, and HDR is something you can really see. More colors, brighter, vivid images, deeper blacks, and so on. So I think that is I think we're moving to more of a HDR. I don't think 4K is going to really, or 8K is going to really catch on. Any news on the BBC America streaming app, BritBox? Yes, BritBox is coming sometime early 2017. I'm assuming first quarter 2017. BritBox will take BBC content and other British content, put it into a Netflix type interface that you can subscribe to. Fingers crossed. It should be interesting. Ken asks, do you think the NFL will loosen up broadcast rights to streaming services next year? They are complaining of lower ratings. Yeah, Ken, there are already talks that DirecTV has been doing surveys about offering a standalone subscription service to their Sunday ticket. No longer, right now, to get Sunday ticket, you pretty much either need to be a DirecTV Now customer or DirecTV customer, or live in an area where you cannot get DirecTV Now service. Or DirecTV. Yeah, okay. DirecTV Sunday ticket. DirecTV Now does not have Sunday ticket. I mean, not confuse everybody here. So yes, I do expect the NFL to loosen it, and they have loosened it a lot recently. CBS All Access stream CBS games in local markets. Twitter deal was a very big deal. Think back, they're streaming the London games, they're streaming the Sunday night games, so they really are making an effort there. 1 second here. All right, I disabled my mic so you didn't have to hear that. Sorry about that. Still fighting the CES crud there. But yes, so they are doing their best to lessen the CES or the NFL restrictions on it because they want viewers. The problem with the NFL is they have long-term contracts, and cable companies don't really want to break those long-term contracts because they make a lot of money from it. So fingers crossed. Bill, as far as watching the Super Bowl for the NFL, I will have, of course, you can use an antenna. As we get a little closer, I will have a full guide. The last few years, it's been available for streaming for free. I'm assuming this year will be the same, but I haven't researched it yet. Tony, I have not tested the Remix OS TV mode. Sorry. So, all right. I think I've answered every question here. Do you think we will get all local stations over the air, over the top this year? Very limited in major markets, cities like Dallas, where we can't get CBS or NBC. That was one of my predictions for this year, that as the year goes on, more and more local stations will become available for streaming. The problem is, like, NBC does not own most of their NBC stations. They're affiliates that bought the right to use that, and they own the rights. So Sling and others can't get the rights from NBC. They have to go to each individual affiliate and buy the rights, and more of them are doing that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I still think over there antenna is the best way to get locals, but I do expect more and more TV stations to agree to a Sling or PlayStation View or DirecTV Now, Hulu, or wherever to give rights to stream their content. I don't watch sports, so do you think a cheaper service will come out without them? The truth about sports, I hear this all the time. I don't watch this, and will a service come out without it? The truth is, sports keeps live TV alive. Sports news, live events. The reason behind that is the fact that sports are watched live. You don't skip the commercials. News is watched live. You don't skip the commercials. And that keeps, money for content networks. They're all bundled. For example, Disney owns ESPN, Fox owns Fox Sports 1, and so on. Big Ten Network and all that are owned by the big ones. And just the truth is that they're the money makers. They're what keeps everything going. I see a lot of people asking for local news. Yes, News On, which I had a great honor of meeting the team behind News On at CES. Very nice people. They, for free, will stream local news to your TV in pretty much every market in the United States. Have at least one station. So check out News On, available on the Roku, iOS, Android. Hopefully coming out more devices soon. Latest on the TV service. Now, TV used to be called Tubi. It's a live TV streaming service. Not a lot. They are available, Paul, right now. They are selling, but they're selling through an affiliate program. So you have to find somebody who's actually selling it. And I think you can go to their site and kind of request contact and sell it that way. Do you think we'll get more apps like for the Roku where we don't need cable or a la carte satellite provider? Yes. I mean, 2016 was a huge year for cord cutting. The CW network released an app. The list goes on and on. More and more services came to News On. Yeah, more and more, even apps that require a cable login are offering free content. Just because it offers a cable login, you still can get a lot of free content through those. So I expect 2017 to be a great year for cord cutting. We probably don't even, a year from now, who knows where we'll be. Think back 1 year ago today. PlayStation View wasn't out. DirecTV Now wasn't out. We just started hearing about the possibility of a Hulu and a DirecTV Now service. The only national live TV streaming service was Sling TV 1 year ago. And Sling was missing a ton of the most popular channels it has today. And I can't remember it. I think the Sling was still limited to it was only one stream. There was no multiple packages. There was no 3 streams on Sling or anything. Fast forward a year, we got Sling, DirecTV Now, PlayStation View. We're soon going to get Hulu, probably Vidgo, Google Unplugged, Fubo TV. So there's 7 streaming services a year later. It's just crazy. USA TV Now is probably not legal. I've been for over a year trying to reach out to USA TV Now, talking to people in the industry. I don't believe USA TV Now is a legal, legit service. I know they pretend to be, but I don't believe they are. If they are, contact me. Respond to my emails. What about, yes, the new over-the-air broadcast standard there, David? Was talking to some people there at CES are in the over-the-air field. The 3.0 standard, which will allow 4K and all kinds of stuff, is still quite a few years out. I think a lot of TV stations right now. So 3.0 is an over-the-air standard, which will be picked up by your antenna, which will allow 4K and all kinds of over-the-air TV content. The issue about that is it costs a lot of money to upgrade your system to 3.0. The other issue is TVs being able to work with it. I think a lot of TV stations are kind of waiting, seeing what's happening with the new broadband spectrum sale, seeing where kind of the market goes right now before they sell out and invest money in their new towers and so forth. So I wouldn't expect 3.0, the new over-the-air standard for 4K and everything, to come out for a few more years. Yeah, Daniel, I don't know why no one had rights to um, the award shows last Sunday. NBC had it for broadcast TV and over the air, but they had no streaming rights, and no one streamed it. It was not streamed anywhere. And I don't understand that. That was a poor business decision on someone's part, and the ratings showed there was a very low ratings for the award shows. So who knows? Tony, it's not a prediction. Google is working on a live TV service. YouTube Unplugged is what it's going to be called. Google owns YouTube. Again, Daniel, I don't think USA TV Now is a legal service. I don't. Sorry. I know that pops a lot of people bubble because they like it. I've tested it. I played around with it. And I spent over a year trying to contact them. I know they pretend to be a legal upfront company. They may be. They may 100% be. And if they are, just contact me. Let's talk. Give me the details. Let's go over it. Luke, everywhere I turn in Corcon, people are praising the Mohu antennas. Does the Leaf really outperform a rooftop or attic? I don't think the Leaf outperforms rooftop or attic. It is a very nice indoor antenna. And the new Mohu Airwave, which takes your antenna, transmits it over Wi-Fi, is very nice. It actually has a built-in tuner and a chip that when it detects distortions, the new Mohu antenna will automatically adjust to try to clear up the image. So you won't have to do anything. It will do its best to clear it out and make it better. So fingers crossed. Will Sling and other over-the-top services get pay-per-view movies for movies or sporting events? Many pay-per-view events are available through like the UFC app, the WWE app, and so forth. Does a lot of them, Robert. I don't expect Sling to do that because it seems like we're moving away from pay-per-view, where instead of being like a pay-per-view type service, you'll go to the UFC or the WWE app and you pay them to get access to that event. And that kind of cuts the middleman and allows the WWE and the UFC and so forth to make more money. So check that out. Terry, the newest version, they're not coming on the market in a few months, and I don't think they've stated what the range is. In my testing, I got to play with it at CES in their suite. It was pretty sweet antenna. It was a sweet antenna in their suite. But yeah, Mohu antenna, they are one of the largest sellers of indoor antennas in the United States. Good company, great reputation, and good customer service. Yes, Nick, Sling TV has a lot of movies to rent, but we're talking more like the pay-per-view exclusive events that I don't see them get. They may get access to it, but it seems like more and more WWE and UFC and so on wants to retain rights to that pay-per-view event. All right. Questions. If I missed it, please re-ask. I'm thinking I've hit everything here on both YouTube and on Facebook Live. So many people here. It's so great to see everybody. Again, real quick, we are giving away a Roku Express. You can also win a side click. This is all one package. This is a universal remote. Clicks on the side of your Roku remote. It allows you to control your TV. You can program it to do anything, sound bars or whatever. And a CES backpack with some random CES gear in it. So check this out. If you want to enter to win this giveaway of the Roku Express, the side click, and the CES backpack, I all know you want the CES backpack being the main reason you want to get it. Head over to Core Cars News. The very top story will show you how to enter to win. Jeff, I'll probably be doing some stuff from Canada. There's a shipping cost. I pay for everything on my own hand. David says, have you heard or tested the T-less antennas? No, I haven't. But I'll add that to my list of antennas and stuff to check out. What is the best place to stream Dutch soccer from Canada? Look at Fubo TV. I believe they're in Canada too. They do all kinds of soccer, and they do have Dutch soccer. Dave, PlayStation View offers locals in some market, not all markets. So it's kind of hit and miss if you're going to get it or not. Do you think PlayStation View would come out with a better Roku app? You would think. Sling TV, it seems like every month or every other month is updating their app. But Sony has done very little to update their apps on any of their platforms. So fingers crossed that they roll out something. I've been using... Yep. The poll asks, what's the monthly cost for a Roku? There is no monthly cost for a Roku. Roku, once you buy it, you own it, use it forever. Now, some of the apps you put on it, like if you want to use Netflix on it, you have to subscribe to Netflix. If you want to use Amazon, Hulu, and so on, you have to pay for that. But there is no cost to own a Roku. Which, if you think about it, if you pay for cable, you also pay on average $120 a year for the DVR. Plus, if you have Comcast, for each additional TV, you pay $5 and change. If you have 2 TVs, now you're talking about an additional like $130 some. So you can easily pay $250 plus a year to rent your cable boxes. Let's not even get into the modems. But when you look at it, buying a $50 or $100 Roku will save you a ton of money because you own it. Is there any services besides Sling that broadcast cricket? Didn't ESPN have a cricket app? I believe they did. ESPN, I believe, does a cricket service for the... Isn't there a big cricket event in April? And ESPN does a subscription streaming service to it. Sorry, my voice is kind of weak. I'm still fighting a CES crud cold. Cannot go to CES and not come home without a cold or something. Watch ESPN does have some cricket if you have a subscription there, people are saying, but they do have a standalone subscription app. Just Google ESPN cricket subscription and you'll find the details there. Sling is not available in Canada. Sorry, Liz. Is there any good channel to stream live MotoGP? Red Bull, which I'm pretty sure is on pretty much every streaming service, has a great streaming service that does a lot of racing sports. 1 second. Apologize, I didn't want to have you all listen to me blow my nose. Seems like DirecTV Now still lags on my Fire TV and my Apple TV. I don't know when it's going to run smoother, Jay. I do know that they're working on it. All streaming services have issues at the start, and DirecTV Now sure has had their share. With streaming sports, does any streaming service transmit in 60 frames per second? Yes, pretty much all of them do now. I know Sling and PlayStation View do theirs in 60 frames per second, and I'm fairly sure DirecTV Now also does 60 frames per second for sports. PlayStation View didn't at one point, but they did upgrade and bring it up to 60 frames per second. Stephanie says, I want to call all Comcast services, but have internet. Would you suggest using your phone data with Roku and a Fire Stick if you have unlimited? You can, but I am hearing that like Verizon, for example, is cutting off people who use, just canceling plans who use more than 200 gigabytes a month and streaming content. You can easily do that. I actually am using DSL. This is happening on DSL. I recommend maybe checking out DSL, seeing if that's a good fit for you. And the best thing is every year or two, I switch back and forth between cable and DSL to get the best deal. Why don't you talk about OTA more? TV Fool will give you a good report. Kurt, not only do I talk about OTA, I own an OTA site, antennarecommendations.com, antennarecommendations.com. Head over there and it will give you a great and I think better interface to find out what's around you and so on. And I just had a great interview looking at the Watch Air, Mohu, and so forth. I write every week for Mohu Antennas on their site, so check that out. Why doesn't Hulu broadcast in 5.1 audio? Costs, they're charging $7 a month, and that costs money. Why, on average, how long does it take new streaming services to overcome difficulties? A lot of people with a $35 promotional account, DirecTV, are giving up on the DirecTV Now service. Boy, you gotta wait and see which one out there. I wish, I don't want to say there's like, oh, they're gonna fix it in a month. I don't know. Eventually, I do expect them to fix it. I don't know when they're going to fix that. What do you think of the new Hulu Live interface? Michelle, check back tomorrow. I'm going to have a full post on the new Hulu Live interface. I did one last week kind of just talking about it, but I'm going to give my impressions and some stuff I've heard from people who've used it and so forth. So check back tomorrow morning for that post. All right. Hey, we got about 10 minutes left in this. If you want to get a question in, do it now. If you have not gone and checked out, we are giving away a Roku Express, a Cyclic Universal Remote, and a CES Consumer Electronics Show backpack with some kind of random goodies in here, and a News On pen that I got from the team behind News On. Very nice people. So check that out. Is there a reason why the first gen Fire TV still doesn't have the upgraded software? In short, they're just rolling out slowly. They're doing their best to roll out. Not even all my second generation devices have the new upgrade software. It just seems like they're doing their best to do it slowly, test out things, and get it out there in the market. Clearly, this new Fire TV OS was made for the Fire TV Edition TVs. When I test out the new TVs with built-in Fire TV OS, the new OS is on there, and it's clearly everything was built for that. OTA built into the home screen and everything. I have a few problems with DirecTV Now, but I expected some problems. I guess I'm a little bit more patient, says Tom. I think some people have had very good luck. I think how close you live to their servers has more to do with it than what device or speed of internet you have. Some people have been very lucky, and some people have just had a nightmare in DirecTV Now. Do you think Hulu will get new networks like HDTV and DYI? We just don't know a lot about Hulu's new live TV streaming service. I'm assuming they're trying to get every channel they can possibly get their hands on. And I'm sure that they're at the same time trying to get deals for Hulu. If you want them on the, no matter what streaming service, live TV or on demand, if you want a channel on it, write that channel, because I'm sure that Hulu would love to have every channel out there on Hulu. Contact HGTV and tell them that you want them on Hulu. You want them on Netflix or wherever. And Big Ten Network, wherever. Just tell them. I'm having a much better experience with DirecTV Now. During the first couple of weeks, it was awful, but it's getting better. So, yeah, some people have told me they're getting better. Sling needs Discovery Networks. Write Discovery Networks and tell them that. Jeff asked, what's my thoughts on the best streaming device to get? I use mostly Roku for a couple reasons. My 4-year-old daughter can use it, and my parents can use a Roku, no problem. Fire TV is probably my second favorite one. Very close, very feature-filled. Has greatly improved their app library. The Nvidia Shield is a close second, too. With the new version, I held back recommendation because of no official Amazon app, and when it launched, it only had about 400 apps. Now they're up to a few thousand apps on the Nvidia Shield, and they have their own Amazon Video app. So really, any of those would be great. If you have an older parents or little kids, I think the Roku is super easy to use. If you're a power user, you really want something cool you can play with, the Nvidia Shield's kind of the one to get right now. The Plex server, the game controller is really nice. It varies wildly depending on what you like. I'm not so much a fan of the Apple TV. I think they still have a long ways to go in getting apps and content. They're still missing a lot, though they're getting a lot better. I've upgraded. So for the Apple TV fans, I've upgraded Apple TV from do not buy to it's okay. I don't like the remote. I find it very painful when you're using the keyboard on screen. But it's still missing a lot of services, and the lack of Amazon Video, which is the number 2 streaming service in the United States, rents more movies than Redbox, rents more movies than Google, iTunes, and Vudu combined. The lack of Amazon Video is a big deterrent for me recommending Apple TV. What about the MyBox from Walmart? It's nice. If you're 1080p, I do find at times the MyBox lags on me when I'm trying to use 4K. Past that, the MyBox is not bad, but you get what you pay for. It's a discount streaming box. Yeah, the MyBox not bad. $69. Again, with 4K and HDR, but you get what you pay for. According to studies and internal numbers, Amazon rents more movies than anyone on the market. They rent more than iTunes, Google Play, and Vudu combined. And as of 2016, they surpassed Redbox for movie rentals. So by far, Amazon Video rents more movies than anyone. And if you think about it, they're on the most devices by far. Android TV now, Roku, Fire TV, iOS, Android, desktop streaming, the list goes on and on. They're on a ton of TVs, they're on DVD players. I think only Netflix is on more devices than the Amazon Video. So, I'm not sure Amazon's going to rule the world. I will say Amazon does have the largest selection of movies, though a lot of them are independent movies. But they do have they've really upped the game on content. It would be interesting to see, and the originals are better. I still think Netflix by far has the best originals of anybody. Hulu's got some really good ones out there, but Amazon's catching up on that. They're definitely pouring money into originals right now. How about Vood on Us? I'm just not familiar with that. I have to check that out. All right. Amazon is actually worth more than Walmart now. I didn't see that. I'm assuming talking about stock price. It wouldn't surprise me. Different markets, though. I think, they definitely meet different market areas. Robert asks, is DSL good for streaming and gaming? Yes, I got DSL 40 down, 20 up, and I'm extremely happy with it. They have faster speeds. They have 100 down here. Just not paying for it. I have a 16-year-old daughter, or exchange student daughter here living here. I have a 4-year-old who is always on the tablet. My wife streams all the time. I game on Steam all the time. And, I'm doing all this. No problems with DSL. DSL kind of has a reputation from many years ago of being slow and clunky. Nowadays you wouldn't be able to know you weren't on, you're using DSL, not cable. Mark, nothing to add to VidGo right now, and nothing to say, on that. I'll update as soon as I know anything. Paul, some DSL companies do have data caps, just like some cable companies do, and some do not. So check your local DSL provider for more details. Yes, I got a question over here that I hear that Amazon's working on their own TV sets, Amazon TVs. Yes, I actually played with them at CES. They're called Amazon Fire TV Edition TVs. Horrible name. It's basically a Fire TV built into your TV. OTA guide, you connect antenna, it'll put your antenna content right next to your Netflix recommendations. It's really cool. And I was talking to them, and I should have a review unit about the time they go live later this year. So, all right. Bill, you say your LTE is faster than your dad's DSL, but what plans do you subscribe to? You can subscribe to cable that's slower than LTE. So it depends where you live. Some rural markets, even with cable. About 5 years ago, I moved to Fort Leonard, Missouri, and the cable company, their fastest speed was 6 down. That was it, 6 megabytes up. Where DSL offered 10 down. That was their fastest speed. So DSL was faster than cable in that market. And I'm pretty sure it's that way now. There's so many factors that go into that. You can't make any generalizations about speed nowadays. John, how do you think net neutrality will affect streaming? I am less concerned about net neutrality than I am about getting more competition in ISPs. I think that the rollout of gigabit Wi-Fi from Google, AT&T just announced a new plan to do it too, where they put basically cell phone towers, similar concept, up with a different bandwidth and different settings, and allow you to get gigabit speeds through the air. We need more competition out there. What I would rather see is the government get out of it. Government regulations have protected the monopoly of cable and DSL. And they're, just to be honest with you, government is protecting the monopolies that currently exist. I'm very excited about the movements of Google and AT&T to come out with their Wi-Fi networks. Very fingers crossed that these new gigabyte systems, which are brand new, this is very different than WiMAX. I know people say, well, I used WiMAX and that wasn't great. No, very different concept out there is gigabyte Wi-Fi. Doesn't work on the same principle or anything. And I think that's the future. Fingers crossed that it happens. Will Verizon Fios make a streaming or Roku app? I'm not sure Verizon's really paying a lot of attention to Fios right now. They sold off part of their network and they're not investing in it, so I don't know. Maybe, but I have no inside information on that. What do you expect for the future of traditional television? Will we see the end of that medium in our lifetime? I don't think cable's going away. I do see consolidation. Here's the truth of it. People are willing to pay for a premium experience. People are willing to pay for premium cars, first class on flights, nicer homes or whatever. And I think there is something to be said about the idea that cable is an easier to use premium service that you pay for. And I think there are some people out there that will always be willing to say, I'm going to pay the premium price for cable. It's easy, it's there, whatever. I'm not looking to save money. I don't care. I'll pay extra for the premium experience. So I see cable moving that direction to say, hey, we're going to become a premium service. We're going to offer premium options. You kind of see that with Layer 3 TV. I don't consider that cord cutting whatsoever. It's just cable. But it's cable that's offering cool things out there. So, fingers crossed. James, do you think the Trump administration will recommend regulations that will eventually help cord cutters? I just don't think we know enough about what the Trump administration is going to do. I know it's a very popular game right now to say the sky is falling, Trump's coming. Let's just kind of wait and see what happens. I will be following it closely once concrete proposals are made, and I will be telling you exactly what I think of them. But until we have concrete proposals, I'm not going to get into this game of the sky is falling. That is very common right now. So, what impressed me most at CES? I like the antennas with built-in Wi-Fi. I thought that was really cool. I really like those are antennas that you can put anywhere in your house, connect to your Wi-Fi, and stream to your Roku, Fire TV, whatever. Love the ability that where your TV is not typically where the best place for your antenna is. So I love the fact that you'd be able to put that antenna anywhere in your house and make it work. Roku TVs, their new end of high-end Roku TVs. They look sharp, better quality, HDR, Dolby Vision picture, very very nice. So I like those. And check that out. Kurt, do I follow our cord cutters? I'm a mod on our cord cutters. Not only do I follow it, I'm one of the head mods there. So politics. Yeah, Jeff, I don't want to get in politics, but if there's an actual physical story that is cord cutting related, I will cover it. Blair, yes, I have a full review on Sling TV's AirTV. If you go to Cord Cutters News, I think it's on page 2, and it's probably in the review tab too. AirTV, very nice. I have a video full demonstration of it and a full written review there. We're kind of running short on time. I'm actually gone long, so I'm not going to go much in depth on that, Blair. But check out cordcuttersnews.com. You search for AirTV there to find the full review, or I think it's on page 2 of my site now. Maybe on the homepage still. I don't think the cable box is ever going to go away. Comcast is trying to make that more of a multimedia center, and it's a big profit center for them. So no, I don't think it's going to go away. Do I see them offering more and more Roku apps and so forth? Yes. Roku announced the next few weeks the Comcast app is coming to Roku. So Tony, yeah, check out the AirTV. So I think I'm going to cut this off right here. Thank you. I know I missed some questions. If I missed your question, head over to Facebook, search for Cord Cutting Tech Support. That's Cord Cutting Tech Support on Facebook. Has that image I used with the scissors cutting it off. You look at the description, it'll say owned by Cord Cutters News. Tons of great stuff there. Ask your question there. Somebody will answer it. Almost 9,000 people are over there. Now, we are also doing a giveaway. Last call. This is good for a week, but make sure to head over to Cord Cutters News. We're giving away a Roku Express. we're giving away a side-click universal remote. We click it to your Roku remote, and you can control your TV, soundbar, whatever. And I know this is what everybody really wants. I'm giving away my CES Press Backpack. This is the backpack Press got at CES. It's got some notepads. I put a pin in here from Newson. I met with the team. They gave me some pins. There's a hat in there. I'm not really sure what the hat says. Gibson. Looks like Gibson Guitars hat. I don't know. I haven't opened it. If I remember, when I visited the Sling TV booth, I got this AirTV flyer here. So this is an AirTV flyer. Maybe I'll throw that in if I remember. But go to cordcuttersnews.com and enter. The first post is talking about the giveaway. Check that out. Enter to win. Tell your friends about it. Share it. There's all kinds of different ways you can enter the giveaway. But yeah, you can win all this. One lucky person and the giveaway ends January 19th. So check it all out. You know, Jeff, thanks for the offer of shoveling my driveway, but I moved from Michigan to Texas, so I don't have to shovel my driveway anymore. And I'm very happy with it. So every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, we are here. Barring the rare occasion I may have to cancel, but that is going to be a rare occasion. So again, check it out. CordCuttersNews.com, Facebook.com/CordCuttersNews. If you're watching me on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate it. And cord cutting tech support. That's cord cutting tech support. Would love to hear hear your feedback and learn more about your service. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Take care. I wish you all the best.